let's talk just a minute now with how we're going to get from where we are today to where the Bible says we are going. We have the advantage of the prophecies of the Bible. We know what's going to happen. We know there's going to be a temple built. We know that apparently the international community and the Antichrist, who will be the leader of the international community, is going to side with Israel and apparently going to agree with the building of the temple. Right now, it doesn't look like that could happen. Now, for just a little bit of history over the past 12 months or so, President Clinton wanted so badly to forge a peace between the Palestinians and the Israelis. In July of 2000, he called a peace conflab, a conference, at Camp David. He brought Yasser Arafat there, and the Prime Minister of Israel at the time was Ehud Barak. They all came to Camp David, and they stayed there for 2 weeks, trying with all of their might to conclude some kind of an agreement. Now, Clinton thought he had it. They were about there. Ehud Barak made unprecedented compromises. He agreed to totally surrender the Temple Mount to Arab control. He agreed to redivide Jerusalem and to give up 97% of the land, and sweeten the deal by saying, I can't give the other 3% because we have 200,000 Jewish settlers living in this territory. We just cannot uproot them and move them. They've built full cities there. But what I will do is, so you can say to your people, I got 100% back, I'll give you an equal amount of land somewhere else. It looked like the deal was done. All of us were astounded when Yasser Arafat turned the deal down. Instead, a few days later, he launched terrorism. We now have lived through 1 year of what is called the Al-Aqsa Intifada, continual terrorist attacks, bombings in the nightclub in Tel Aviv killed 21 young ladies. The bombing at the Sbarro's pizza shop in downtown Jerusalem killed 15. We're talking about whole families, little children. And all of this has happened. It's left a bad taste in the mouth of the world leaders, and especially President Clinton. President Clinton was very, very angry. He said, Yasser Arafat blew it. We had a deal, and he blew it. Consequently, world opinion is right now swinging away from Yasser Arafat. Now, this was exacerbated by what happened when the terrorists hit the World Trade Centers and the Pentagon on September the 11th of 2001. What happened was, when that terrible attack occurred, the Palestinians felt like their enemy had been injured, and so many of them danced in the streets. It was caught on video. It was shown on televisions around the world. Well, immediately Arafat understood how damaging this was going to be to the Palestinian cause on the public opinion forum of the world. Consequently, they arrested the people that took the pictures. They confiscated the videos, and they warned them, if these pictures are shown, it could endanger your life. However, some of the footage was already out. It was already shown. Arafat tried to further contain the damage by running down to the nearest clinic and volunteering to give blood to the victims of the terror attack in New York. He was saying, I didn't have anything to do with this. These people who are dancing in the street are extremists. But the fact is, it wasn't exactly that way. This is causing public opinion to swing away for right now from the Palestinians. Furthermore, Ariel Sharon, who is right now at the time of this taping, the Prime Minister of Israel, is saying to everyone, we cannot make a deal with them. We gave them our best offer, more than I would have ever offered. Barak offered more than I would have ever offered, Sharon said. And so we know that we don't have a potential of peace here. They want our extermination. That's what they really want. And we cannot sign our own death warrant. So consequently, we have to recognize there's no possible deal. So we must move towards separation. Now, it looks like, and it's really difficult to talk about these things in advance since we're seeing through a glass darkly, as Paul said, but it looks like that we're moving towards some kind of a unilateral separation. And even the prophecies seem to teach that. A lot of people think there's going to be a peace treaty between Palestinians and Israelis, and maybe there will be temporarily. But if there's a treaty, it falls apart, because we know that halfway through the final 7 years, at the time of the abomination of desolations, that the Palestinians unleashed slaughter on the people of Judea. So it looks like the problem is still boiling. It has not been settled. We also know at Armageddon that the world community, the United Nations, is going to invade Israel to attempt to impose its will upon the nation of Israel. The Bible says in Zechariah 14:2 that all nations will be gathered against Jerusalem to battle. That's what triggers the Battle of Armageddon. So it appears that if the world community moves toward favor toward Israel right now, it's a temporary move, because ultimately the international community is going to decide to invade Israel and to settle this problem once and for all.